Hey everyone, welcome back to my workbench. It's a little crowded right now. So the reason behind that is I got a pretty substantial rush of orders. I'm not quite sure what's generating all of them. I can see some are coming from like Atari Age, some are Google, some are YouTube. So long story short, I haven't really been able to work on the Intellivision much because trying to get everything together for building out 6 more controllers. And 2 of them are dual sticks, so it's like building 10 new controllers, or no, 8 new controllers. So you have to do 8 joysticks. But anyways, working on that. Actually, I think I have parts for like one more, literally just like one more joystick right now. I'm like so low on joysticks and other parts as well. So I have a bunch of parts in order, but if you order one now, I mean, that's it. I don't have anything next for like 2 weeks after these are built because I don't have any parts. So today we're just building up these joysticks themselves. So lots has to happen from the original like raw joystick to being able to be used with the 5200. So I have to take the joysticks completely apart. It's that hard to just take these 4 screws off the back head pops off. Then I have to take off the original potentiometers, which are 10K in this case, and I need a lot more than that. And then I go through and I have to add a bunch of wires and capacitors to the whole thing. Because even using 1 megs, even that's not enough swing for it, so I have to add a little more capacitance to it to get it all the way there. So tonight is not probably going to be pretty short because I don't think anyone's going to want to watch me go through and build up. What do I build up? Build up 16 sets of. This is the exciting, glamorous part of building controllers. Here is having to solder together all these potentiometers, putting these additional capacitance on here, then attaching wires to it, then adding DuPont connectors onto it so it plugs in, and then there's just a lot going on. So maybe I'll just build up one by itself and you get an idea of what goes into making one of them, and then it's going to go through solder, then press. I have to solder them, cut the shaft down, press them together, nerd light on, and reassemble. I'll show you what goes into one of these. So now we're just going to untangle that. I prefer brass cleaners to water for my soldering because the problem when you use a sponge is it cools off the tip a bit whenever you're doing it. I mean, it recovers, but you have to take a little bit temperature shock to the tip of the iron because my tips last a long time because I treat them pretty darn nicely. The other thing is when you actually turn your iron off, what you want to do is actually leave solder on you put a little extra solder on the tip. My nails are dirty today. A little extra solder on the tip itself just to help protect it from oxidation. So yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll build up this one and then you can see what goes on here. For some reason my stripper was out of alignment, so I had to go through a minute ago and readjust it. Alright. A little flush cutter action. Split this apart. So I just printed up myself a cute little oh, why are you like that? Why do you gotta be like that, man? I printed up this cute little rig here, so I know where I wires the solder to, X, Y, and it's nice and snug to the potentiometer I put in there, so it doesn't go skittering across, and I don't need to clamp it down with an extra set of helping hands or anything like that. So, why is it? Actually, this thing's sturdy enough. I'll come at this end. These are tin already, so this is why. I would try to pass it all through the one hole, but it just gets too crowded, and I have enough solder here to deal with it. So get a good tack on there. Because once these are put together, there's really not much forces on the wiring internally. I'll tin up these wires just a little more. If you ever hear someone say they're going to tin, it just means they're adding more. They're putting you tin a wire, you're adding tin lead solder, or tin. What's the other element? I had the Rojas. I can't remember what the other element is. But it's quite literally mostly tin. Usually over 60-70% tin, depending on what you like to use. The nice thing about tin, it's got low melting temperature, especially when it's alloyed or something else, which is good for electronics. You don't want to stay all day when you're soldering to any kind of potentiometer, be it metal film, carbon, whatever, is you don't want to heat up that pad to the path of the actual potentiometer. Because inside the potentiometer is a wiper. Well, it's like a 3/4 horseshoe shape usually, and that's lots of time it's made of like carbon. If it's a carbon film, or you can have wire wound as well, where it's like literally a piece of wire, but you don't want to sit on there all day because it'll heat up and potentially damage the potentiometer. Alright, so that's all put together. Cool. And put in this little jig here so I can take care of that. Okay. And the other end, is even more wire going on. The other end's going to be a DuPont connector. And that I want to do a little longer strip. I'm getting clogged all the time on this one. I can tell when it doesn't snap back all the way. Sometimes when you separate them, you want to use using the blade. So the whole goal now is to get this built into my little test cable here. This plugs into my 5200. If I hold this button down here, that'll turn on the cal. There we go. so that's on. Now I need, this terminates to a male, so I need female. This is the crimper. Shooting for 0.3 millimeter square millimeter crimp. Kind of get in there a little bit. Doesn't matter which one I was going to do though. This is the X. Yeah. Done these so many times, I memorized the colors. Black is X. In the original 5200, the wiring, ironically, is black as well. I did that on purpose to remember. Again, bend that over. Get it kind of starting the crimping tool like that. This is violet. I think it was pink, maybe. I don't know which color it was on the original. Doesn't matter. You can choose whatever color you want. And this is the one that's a little different because I'm putting both into one. Let's trim these back a little bit further. You put two into one connector, so you don't need to have, because I'm twisting two wires into it. I'm actually purposely stripped it further back so it's not going to grab the insulation on this one. It's going to specifically, I just want to combine the VJCs, the voltage, the like 4.2 volts, the 5200 kicks out for the controller. Odd voltage. Yeah, it's 4.2 volts. Crimp that. Here we go. And my trusty got little hanging pins up here. So I put the, if you ever look at these connectors, if you look at these connectors, you're out of focus. I'll show you here. See if I can get this close. There it is. The little triangle right there, that denotes pin number 1. My workbench is out of focus. I like manual focus. And so I put my, these actually just push them right in and they'll click, theoretically. Let's not quit in all the way. No, let's do the X and the Y first. Those just lock right in. Let's see if I can squish you enough to get in there. There it goes. Alright, that's all in. I'm going to plug this into the test cable here. Purposely skipping the top one because I used to go with a 4-pin, then I switched to a 3-pin connector. And now you can see. Pull this one up so you can see it. Down the lower left, those are where the two. So this is your Y. Let's turn you to 7 and 2. Close to it. Close enough. And then again, we're going to turn the X. pretty darn close. Now hard to read, isn't it? Okay, let me change my filters up a little bit. Bump the cam up a little bit. There we go. Yeah, looks nice. Ah, now you can see easier. So my setup, I actually have a nice little retro bit converter. Converts the composite into HDMI. And then HDMI, I split it, and one of them goes into a capture card, a 1080 60 frame capture card, and the other one goes into a little monitor I'm looking at. Where the heck is the big hardware? There. I'll show you the secret to making these. It's a secret tool. Bolt cutters. 18-inch bolt cutters. And where's my eye protection? Safety first. So the key is these shafts are too long for the joystick assembly. So you gotta go in here, kind of eyeball it without taking out your eyeballs. Cut the length of the shaft. Whoop, cut the length of the shaft down. That's my secret tool. The bolt cutters, because you gotta chop it down. All right. Now the shafts are cut down. Then, so that's very exciting. Make these right now. After that, we need the assembly itself. So you have move this out of the way so you can see. This is that's the y-axis, it's a little bit longer than the x-axis. And where's my little vise at? Vise? I have no vise. Pure as the driven snow. Anyone who's a Stooges fan will know that one. Oh, sheesh. Just bop the whole world around there. There we go. So, nice little vise here. And carefully press these together. So this is the Y. Sorry, this is the X because it's longer. Oh, I actually have to do another step. I forgot here. A lot of steps to this. So now I need to assemble these into the actual more cutting. Okay, where's my one of these guys here? A lot of steps. This is on. You got these extra tabs on here. Like so. I'm going to chop those down a bit. I usually leave a little on because it doesn't really get in the way of anything. And then I have to take this big one off the back because it doesn't help me at all. And there's this little extra tab which doesn't help me because it actually would go up into the enclosure, which doesn't help me at all. And then I'm going to just trim these down. I don't really use these much because I tighten the bolts down enough so it doesn't really make that much of a difference. This is the sidewall of the joystick, and this is the X. Like so. And then I'm going to put this assemble this little guy. Yeah, the pots I found, they're so close mechanically, except for the shaft length, that I can reuse the nuts that came with the original potentiometers. Yeah, it's pretty straight. Give that a good tighten. Had to go out and buy myself a nice new metric socket set because I want to be able to. There's some smaller sizes that really don't usually come with a normal mechanics tool set, so I had to get little guys. What is this guy? 8mm. Is it 8? Yeah, a little 8mm. Not the infamous 10, but an 8. Anyone who ever worked on a car, you don't want to lose your 10mm socket because they use 10mm everywhere. There we go. You can see me just mucking it around with a bit. The cowl moved a little bit, especially after cutting the end of the bolt off. Come on, you come back. Actually, it's kind of hard to grab by hand, but now these are back to center. And that's the Y. It's the X. I recognize them by just the look of them now because I've done them so many darn times. So now I got to press the darn thing together. This is the X, yes. Giving away all my secrets here. Make sure that's pretty center there. The whole thing gets press fit. Into place. Like so. Nice and straight too. See that? Everything's nice and square. So I use a vise and I use a drill press too, and because even then the original potential pots that come out of here have this big, this little tiny D shape, and what I do is I have to go ahead and lob those off. I mean, I have to drill through, and I got a cute little baby drill press right off my shoulder, right there. It's a cute little drill press, and I can go ahead and take care of that. Open this up a little bit. Pretty good looking on the cowl so far. Again, I'm just going to build up one tonight all the way, so we're not sitting here all darn night long watching me do this another 7 times. I don't think that's very exciting viewing for anyone. I know I wouldn't want to watch somebody do that, unless that's your thing. I talk too much for ASMR, and that'd be really weird if somebody did ASMR with my voice. That's just too creepy. Alright. So that's all pressed into place. And now we'll get the joystick assembly back. Where's your body? So the shorter little army thing goes on the x-axis, which goes together like this. Don't force anything, just kind of just give her a little gentle love and get everything back into place. Why are you rubbing there? Maybe you need to go. Let's give it a twist. Try this way. Sometimes I've noticed that there's some variation in the plastic molding for these joysticks. Yeah, that's pretty decent. Yes, I notice this batch has got more of a heavy feel than others. Some feel lighter, some feel heavier. Whatever. Alright, so this is your x-axis. That goes in over that. Oh, don't come apart on me. Don't do this to me, bro. Alright, you're back in there. These are actually, through these three I'm working on right now are slightly older joysticks, and they have a newer revision which I actually like quite a bit more, but I got to use up all these parts. I mean, they're not like the quality is any better or worse, but the some fit together a little bit easier than others. There we go. All right, and that's just a matter of putting the back on. Electric glove. Very gentle. These are all plastic, so you don't want to go, except for the shaft that runs down the center, so you don't want to go too gunged in when you tighten this stuff down. Alright. See, this one's got a real gnarly rub to it, which I don't like. I saw it when I was assembling it too. Let's loosen these back up. Let's stay here. Alright, here we go. See? I don't like that. I think I'm going to do, let's put this guy back in the exact same rest of the joystick assembly as this guy, as it came from. There's enough variation. What I try to do is go from, use the exact same joystick from one to the next to the next. Come on. Can I ever get that last thread? There we go. This is the outer. This is the joystick that we originally came with. I'm not going to swap it. Take the X back off. Take the Y off. I have a little parts organizer back here that I line everything up as I'm doing them. Let's see if this fits a little nicer. As when I took it apart, this is the exact housing that it came from. And sure as heck, that's what it was. Nice and smooth now. That is so weird. There's that much variation. The newer ones over here, these are like from January of this year, so they're brand new. It's only February right now, if you're watching this in the future, of 2025. All right. Let's not get this too twisted up. All right, let's put this back together. Yeah, that's the one thing I have noticed is on this previous generation of parts, there's a bit of variation from part to part. So I'm just putting it back together, the exact same housing she came from originally. See how this one feels. There we go. Why are you popping a little bit? Not touching. Can't be angry. Not touching there. Nice and quiet. Alright, let's put your original back on. So everything was a little delayed this week as my wife had an infusion for stuff called, I think it's called Zometa, and she's been a year disease-free so far from breast cancer, and hers is estrogen and progesterone positive, so she had an oophorectomy where you take your ovaries out and you're blocking any estrogen that's in your body so you don't, your cancer doesn't get fed by the estrogen. Let's see how this looks. Much better. I'll blow this up so you can see it a little better. And on this style, it's actually very easy to adjust. This is the x-axis here. Oh, like I was saying, wife is just getting. Went to the hospital dealing with an infusion she had. What a pain! It's the first time I've been in the hospital. We actually were treated in the hallway. This is crazy. For like the first 10 hours or something like that. Oh, my capture card stopped working there. Hold on a second. That's weird. Capture. Full HD capture. Okay. Well, shoot. The capture card stopped working. Weird. So this style's easier. Yeah, so we're treating in the hallway while then we're stuck in the ER like weird extended stay room for like a day, and then we finally got a room. And they're just the infectious disease doctor was a little gung-ho-din when it came to treating a false positive staph infection. Alright, so now it's a lot easier to adjust these joysticks. There's just a screw here, or on the newer ones, very similar. You have a screw here, and a screw here, and you just loosen it, turn it, and then you can tighten it back down. So now the last step is to find some E6000. Is this one open? No, just not. Let me grab one thing from my closet. So what I do is take, this is one of the 3D printed knobs. I use my deburring tool. Take a little off there. My next one, I'm going to print it with a little chamfer in the inside, but that is another day. This stuff is E6000, very strong adhesive, but this takes an entire day to set though. It's the only issue with it. And I always like to line up the seam towards the bottom. This goes right on there. And then let this sit for 24 hours. And then I have a complete sub-assembly. So next, that's another one I finished previously. Next, these are a little different design for the joystick, but same difference. These are very new, so January of 25. The other ones are a little bit older. Why do you do this to me? There we go. So that is that. So that's going to be drying. And now it's off to doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more of them. But yeah, wife's doing better now. I mean, it took forever to get out of the hospital. Oh my goodness. It was, they thought they'd keep her there another day and finally got out. So she's still not feeling great. So when you heard that train going earlier, it's actually, I have a landline train phone. Looks like an old 462 locomotive. And one of the ringer options is steam train. So that's what you heard there. So like I said earlier, if you want to be kind to you want your soldering iron tips to last a while, what you do is before you turn it off, you purposely load it up with a little extra. See how it's smoking there and it's silver on the tip? That just puts some extra solder on there. So I'm going to specifically turn off the iron with extra solder on the tip, helps protect it. So yeah, now I gotta go through and make a whole bunch of more joysticks and then build up a bunch of harnesses for the buttons and everything and the keypad. So I'll probably have a series of boring videos for the next few days until I start doing some final assemblies. I got all the parts for the final assembly, and then I've got dual stick classic, a dual stick overlay, and I think 3 or 4 more just regular overlay analog controllers. So yeah, excitement. So yeah, I got a lot of orders coming in this month. It was like $900 already this month in orders. It's crazy. And then we're only halfway through the month right now. So everyone, thank you for watching. And the Intellivision controller is coming along well too. I'm working out some of the spacing on it a little bit. Almost done. It's getting close. I already fixed the overlay holder, so that works great. I'm just dealing with like the whole like snap together function of the joystick, but it's coming along. So I'm thinking probably by the end of this week I'll do some 3D printing while I'm doing some of this exciting work here and give it another shot. I'm close. I got 2 more enclosures coming on Wednesday, so I'm going to do a fresh cut on an enclosure with stuff moved around a little bit so it fits better. And hopefully, knock on wood, end of the week I'll have the first Intellivision controller demonstrated, so that'll be good. I have to order parts for 15 more joysticks, so for Atari joysticks, and if the Intellivision starts selling fast, I'm going to have to order a bunch of parts for that too. I know I don't have enough on hand. I only have parts for 3 on hand right now, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, everyone, thank you for watching and have a great day.